I'm going to get into some topics about Oregon and maybe even just living in the USA in general. And yeah, so hopefully you'll like my video and that'll help a lot. I've been going through the last few years since I came to Oregon a lot of difficulties to overcome here. I came and I bought land. That was like the first thing, and why I came here and everything was to get land. And so I went ahead and I got land and was trying to RV and survive and get enough money to build a shop with living quarters so I could do mechanic work and fix up vehicles and flip them and make a living. And so that was my plan and everything. And I mean, it still would be if I could get the funds together. But man, I mean, I've been, there. Oregon is a very tough place. Okay, let's talk about it. So I lived just an hour north of Klamath Falls. Oh, I don't know. Was people not able to hear me, maybe? I didn't realize my speaker was on. But so let's talk about it. So I moved here, got some land, hour and a half, basically an hour outside of a decent sized town. And then, pretty decent size. Thought no problem, I'll be able to get work and get stable, get on my feet and everything, had a car, had an RV, everything. So anyways, I put in nonstop applications, online, in person, follow-ups, phone calls, so many phone calls, so many follow-up interviews, so many no's. So many no's. Okay, I've been working since I was 13 years old, as when I started working through the HRDC program for low-income families and stuff for teenagers to get a head start in the work. So I did that when I was young and everything. Like, I've been working automotive, roofing, like painting, all kinds of maintenance, landscaping, whatever, I've done it. So that being said, coming to Oregon, thought, okay, no problem, I'll find a job. And it's not going to be like it was over in Washington, where I couldn't even find a place to put my RV to even be able to start focusing on a job. So I come here, got the land, set up, start looking for work. Nothing. I mean, I'm talking a month goes by, okay? No problem. 2 months go by. What the fuck? 3 months. All of a sudden, I'm looking at going on 4 months. And so I made a decision. I was like, well, this isn't working. Like, I'm going to go like 3 hours away to where I have 5 different interviews as an auto mechanic, because that's what I do by nature. That's what I know. So I had 5 different job interviews lined up. I went there, and just me, my dog, my car, and my tools. Pretty much it, and some survival stuff, whatever. I was just going to go there because I had 5 different interviews and go ahead and see if I could get one of the jobs, and then I would stay there and work and come home on the weekends. Well, cool. Went to the first interview, had 4 more to go. Went to go to sleep that night and got rolled up on by the police for sleeping in my car, who then, because I wasn't doing anything wrong, refused to ID, and they blew open my window before even giving me a chance to explain anything, and pepper sprayed me and hauled me off. literally no, like, just crazy. This was in Redding, California. Okay, they fucked up my dog. I'm assuming when after they pulled me out of there with pepper sprayed, man, that was like they got me. You're like bad, and then yeah. So, anyways, it's just been a struggle since then. Got my dog back, lost my car because of that whole situation. So I had to, it's a whole line of events, and I don't know if I even want to go into it all. But back to the story, I came back to Oregon. Um, Fast forward, and I've had a couple jobs. So, I'm not saying that it's absolutely impossible to get a job here, but if you do get a job here, you can't. I guess the mistakes that I have made is even just talking. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, all right, good to see y'all here. Thank you for watching this with me. It's kind of new for me too to make live streams. I'm not really, I'm kind of just going off the fly. I'm not, but I want to talk about really what's going on here in Oregon, because everyone says, "Oh, get a job," this and that. Okay, I have personally talked to probably a couple hundred people at least here in Oregon who are in similar situations to me. If you don't, if you didn't come from money and you don't have money and you don't have family and you don't have people, and you're just a single man, no kids, just a dog, that kind of puts you in a spot. And then you add, okay, you want room for your dog. So it's not just, you got to have a place for your dog. So that forces a lot of people into campers or RVs or whatever. So that's what I'm doing. I'm RVing I traded my vehicle that I had to get an RV, to have a place for my dog, to have a place to cook, sleep good, whatever, to survive, so that way I could start working. And yet again, I'm bouncing around Oregon with no job. I just had a job for a little bit, and it was horrible. It was a disaster. I'm here at the ocean. That's probably, I don't know if you can hear that every once in a while, some waves in the background. Yeah, there's water just like right here. But yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm trying to find a job, and the jobs here are just crap. So moving on from that, they don't want to pay anything either. Like, I come from Montana originally. Okay, I've been working for a long time. I come from Montana, Billings, Montana, the biggest place in Montana originally. And yeah, man, I mean, it's all good. I'm just trying to put a different perspective out there, for everybody. I've had people say very harmful things to people who are in my situation. Right. Yeah, I ain't trying to lose my dog. I'm trying to, my dog's a rescue, mind you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm her third owner by the time she was 9 months. So, I found her on the internet, I was looking for a dog at the time, and found her. And so, we was living out on my land, at the time, until I couldn't find any work there, and was literally forced to leave my land because of absolutely no employment. Right? Yeah, I do too, for real. And so, anyways, with everything going on in Portland, and I've tried to avoid cities, but we really need to get together, and the patriots here in America, we need to come up with a peaceful gathering to where we can really start to make an impact and open the eyes. Maybe I should gather some people who are going through similar things here, and we can get together and create something to help show what's actually going on here. There's people claiming that the job market is all good to go, blah, blah, blah. They're only hiring certain people. If you're not a puppet in this system, they don't want to hire you. They look at your resume, right? And then they're like, oh, hey, he's moved around a little bit. They don't want to hire you. They say, he's a flight risk. He's moved, he's changed jobs too many times, this and that. These are all the things that are biting me, so it's like, what, should I lie on my resume just to get a job? Do I really have to? I mean, is that what we have come to just for me to gain employment? Do I have to make up a false resume? you know so it's like, the only reason I'm even focused on that and not creating full-time content is because I'm originally from Billings, Montana. And then I moved to Washington and I traveled all over Washington. I've literally been everywhere in Washington. And pretty much, I mean, the North Cascades, there's like a little section that I haven't really seen. But other than that, I've been pretty much everywhere in Washington. And then I came to Oregon a couple years ago because RVing in Washington was like getting to be next to impossible. Every time there were some times where, okay, I had a nicer RV than I'm in right now. I still might have the other RV out on my property if it didn't get stolen by now. Who knows? But it's too big. It's 35 feet Class A RV, and it's just too big. Everywhere you go, people are like, "Oh, it's too big. You got to leave." And like I even got denied getting gas at certain gas stations with that RV. Like straight up, they were just like, "Oh no, you have to go to a different gas station." I'm like, "What? I'm here to fill up my tank." "Oh, we don't care. You have to go to another station." So yeah, I left Washington. Washington was not a very welcoming place. Okay, I had bought property out in Washington too. I tried this over in Washington and it didn't work out either. And then I was like, okay, I'll come to Oregon because it's supposedly more friendly as far as, people trying to get their shit together. And they might have to live in an RV or something to make it happen because, I mean, obviously, if you an average job around here might pay like $2,000 a month. That's it. Okay, a place is going to cost you what, like $1,400 plus, at least, but then you're talking about, utilities, food, gas, survival, all that. So, I mean, it's not, and then if you're going to try to do insurance and anything like that, I mean, you can't. So that's what causes people to be in these situations. I'm 32 years old today. And it's crazy that, I have so much talent. I'm an amazing mechanic. I can diagnose and fix your car and even upgrade your car because I grew up in street racing. So I've put all kinds of performance modifications on vehicles, and also is why I wear my first on race day because, I have won a lot of races in a Ford. I'm not even going to lie. So, but yeah, I just grew up like that. So growing up in Billings, Montana was a fun place to grow up. There was, in my experience being, class of 2012 was my class of high school. Being from that class and growing up in Billings, there were hundreds of street racers out every night. Like, that's what we did. We terrorized them streets every night, all over the city. Like, it wasn't just one little clique or two or three, like, infinite. Some of us weren't even in our clique, and some of us started our own little clique, like I did back in the day. And, we was the Ford crew, we had all kinds of Mustangs and, some SVT Focus, all kinds of fun shit. But so Anyways, back to what this video is about. Uh, for you helping other car, yeah, yeah. I've done a lot of repairs for people, roadside repairs. One time I was coming around this roundabout and I saw this really nice old Ford truck, like old school, like super old school truck, all painted up, restored, and they lost one of their wheels coming around the roundabout. And so, I pulled over and jacked it up and went and found some of their lug nuts and took a couple more off some other wheels and put them on there for them and got them back on the road. The tire was like falling underneath the vehicle, and yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I've done a lot of tire tech jobs. I've done a lot of lube jobs. I've done a lot of mechanic jobs, plus roofing and all this other stuff. So, I mean, it shouldn't be a problem for me to find a job, but nowadays there's so much more going on that's kind of what I'm trying to shed some light on. They want these perfect little puppets, and if you're not, then you might not have a job. So as soon as they catch wind of who you really are, that's it for you. If you talk about freedom a lot and you talk about what this country was really founded on and what our fathers and grandfathers fought for to keep this country in the shape that it was as we were growing up. And even though it was falling apart, it was way better than it's been in a long time, because I mean, all of the 2000s have been corrupt. Ever since the internet, the world has been corrupt. Facebook, corrupt. That's literally, if you really dig into behind the scenes of all this, a lot of times you can even find videos of the creators of whatever it is, Facebook example, even admitting how corrupt they are. Okay, it's just like Elon Musk, all the videos about AI years ago, talking about how scary and how corrupt AI actually is. And people just don't read behind the stories. That's why I have videos about Tupac on this channel. Let's talk about a little Tupac, since I'm kind of just on some open topic, okay? Because the lies and deceptions that have gone on here are just infuriating, okay? I want to help shed some light on some things, okay? Like Tupac being alive, okay? Yes, he was shot. Yes, he went to the hospital. He survived that. Are you a dad? I thought I had a kid. I was a dad for a year when I was 18, from 18 to 19, and then I found out the kid wasn't my kid, type shit. Haven't been the same since. I'm going to leave it at that, all right? So, Tupac, back to Tupac, he changed his whole identity. When he got shot, he used that as the perfect time to create his new character that he was talking about in interviews. He was talking exactly about the character that he ended up being, saying how he wasn't going to be that character. You could never catch him being a Muslim, blah, 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 blah. Find that video and then find out who Tupac is. I promise you, Achille MC is Tupac. When he got shot up, he was already there. He changed up his face. Easy. Get a nose job. Bug that shit out with his hair. Boom. New person. Maybe you got a little ear job. Get a little bit bigger ears going on. You can't hide that busted tooth and that scar in your eyebrow, homie. You didn't hide that because you wanted us to know. You wanted there to be hope for people to really dig in and find the answers. Did you shoot him? He's still alive. He's still alive. Regardless of who shot Tupac, he's still alive, homie. 50 Cent ate multiple bullets over the years and is still alive. So that whole incident was staged. It was all Tupac wanted out of the game. He always talked about the politicians double talk. If you really know Tupac, okay, you would watch all of his interviews, all of them, his movies, and listen to his music. Okay, then you would start to really know Tupac. And I've done all those things, so I really know what I'm actually speaking of. I've watched every interview that you can find on Tupac, literally, throughout the years. Ever since COVID, I I started to take a different route in life, and I cared about knowledge. That's it. I didn't care about really anything else but knowledge. And honestly, it's actually saved my life, to be 100. If I didn't pursue knowledge the way that I did once COVID hit, I probably wouldn't still be here, because I've had some situations that I was about to clap out, like straight up. Like I've been in some very bad situations since then. And one of which, if it wasn't for the knowledge that I have, I would have clapped out right there. And, you know, I thank God that I awakened at a younger age. Actually, it was back to that when I was like 19 years old. When I found out my kid wasn't my kid, I left Billings, Montana, and I went to Seattle. I packed up a little bit of shit in my car, left the rest, dipped out, drove to Seattle. Uh, and then I ended up meeting, I shit you not, okay, I ended up meeting a messenger in Seattle, like full blown, could speak and write in Hebrew or the white, everything, okay, knew all the shit he was talking about. Actually was by him when he got in a fight over his beliefs, an actual fight. I was there, and there were people about to jump him, like literally there was a big crowd, and I stepped in and did some shit that I'm not going to speak about. I didn't even actually have to do anything, but it was it was showing people what's up, that stopped him getting jumped. Do I play any games? I used to game. I used to have I was always a PlayStation back in the day. No, me, what? Oh, are you two talking to? Okay, I see what's going on. All right, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. Back to check out my playlist. Okay, I don't even want to speak about it too much, because go ahead and check out my playlist. There's a couple of them, but check out the one that's got like, geez, how many videos do I got? I want to say it's like 300 videos or something like that on my Achille MC is Tupac playlist. There's hundreds of videos there. Check out that playlist. By the time you're done with that playlist, there's no way to deny the fact. If you actually finish the playlist, you can try, you can have your own discernment. I'll leave it at that, but check it out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's some very real stuff, and I've made a lot of content about Achille MC's Tupac, and I still get views on it every day. Every day somebody's viewing that content. So, it's a seed that I planted, and I was praying it would grow, because, I want people to start to wake up to the truth. One thing leads to another. You'll start to see all the deception and lies that this world has had and tried to feed you. The deception is absolute. Everything's a puppet show. And who's love your idea? I have no idea, but who's texting me? just out of curiosity. But anyways, yeah, it's crazy. What they really don't want us to focus on is the event that's coming up. Okay, and I started to try to talk about this, and they shadow banned me so badly, and so many things happened to me after I started talking about this topic that I stopped talking about it for, I mean, undescribable stuff that I don't want to get into really on here right now. But just know that as soon as you start talking about the truth, man, things are going to unfold on you. It's insane. But you know, I don't I'm tired of holding back, you know. I have been for some time now, and I just don't want to hold back anymore. It's time to really start getting some of this off my chest, because I can't just sit here and continue to watch this world crumble, straight crumble. Like, it's insane to watch everything going on today. Just insane. I mean, you know, we really lost what it meant to be a person. You know, when I was growing up, when we had a disagreement with somebody, now this was growing up in Montana, when we had a disagreement with somebody, it was game to, you know, speak about it. And if you still didn't agree and you still wanted to clash heads, then we got these fists involved. You feel me? And then we started fighting about it like real people, men and women. Men and women, I promise. Men and women used to throw hands all the time over disagreements. We didn't pick up no gun and start shooting people. You know, this shit has just gotten out of control, you know, just taking lives for over nothing. All because they erased the authenticness out of us. We can't just have a conversation anymore. Either one party's not interested, both parties aren't interested in each other. Everybody only just wants to see what's on their mind, and that's it. You know, so that's it's crazy. But yeah, back to on some Oregon stuff, because I'm kind of just rambling on, and I really didn't have. I just kind of wanted this to be open and just cover some of the things that are in the title of this video, which I've done. But the poverty out here in Oregon is just like everywhere else, if not worse, though. Because I mean, this is the first place in America that I've been that has literally, like, this is the hardest place in America that I have found to get a job. I have many qualifications in many different fields. I shouldn't have a problem getting a job here. So, with that being said, the fact that I'm even making a video right now instead of working, making some money, says something. Like, I'm 32 years old with a lot of talent and skills, lots. And I see this all throughout this state, man, as people that have a lot of talent, they're just letting it. This country's disposing of our talent. It's like, you know, us here, born and raised here in America, if we didn't come from money, and we don't have money, and we don't have that status that they want us to have, then we just get swept under the rug, it feels like. So I'm really just trying to shed some light on that. Put me to, you know, somebody needs to see this video here in Oregon, man, and put me to work, man. I need money to survive. You feel me? I have a dog. and I have myself. Every human life should matter on this planet. All of us, every one of us should mean something. It doesn't even have to be to anybody else. You feel me? You don't have to have a huge following, a huge circle of people in your life. None of that. You feel me? I came from that. I was the type of person that when I left Montana, when I left Billings, Montana, I had a flip phone that couldn't hold any more contacts because I had that many contacts. And then I had a smartphone also. Okay, I had two phones, and the smartphone I had at least like close to 300 contacts. You feel me? I used to be somebody back before I found out my kid wasn't my kid and shit. Um, and I left that whole everything behind. Everything when because it was more than there was more to the story than it just wasn't my kid. It come to find out that she was also using freaking meth with her biological brother while she was at work, like behind my back type of shit. And all of a sudden, like, became a violent person, and like we started clashing, and she started getting like physical, and I'm like, I I don't want this. You feel me? Like, I'm not trying to mess this broad up. And she was like 90 something pound Mexican girl, you know, uh, beautiful girl and all that. But I really loved her and everything. But man, like, her lies, back to lies, man. I can't stand liars, bro. That's one thing I cannot stand in this world is liars, man. And you can still find a picture of us on my old Facebook account that I don't even have access to anymore. And I don't even use Facebook anymore because I'm not into social media and everything anymore. Literally, YouTube is pretty much all I got. I don't really use anything else as far as that goes. So, yeah. But anyways, I just hope that maybe somebody can find something out of this video. I'm going through a tough time right now and kind of just venting, and you know I would like to go to Portland. I want to be involved, not with what's going on. I don't want to be involved with chaos, but I want patriots of this country to be heard. Um, I want to speed up the process of taking back our rights and taking back our freedom for real. It's crazy what this world has came to, and this probably won't get very many views because I'm talking about some sensitive topics, and I wanted to try to talk about some more, but it is what it is. But what y'all doing up in here? Looks like I just got two people up in here. That's all right though. But what y'all up to, man? I'm just sitting here by the ocean, just venting, and I think I'm kind of getting towards the end because I want to make some more content and I want to touch on some different topics. Maybe let me know what y'all want to hear about, because I have a wide range of knowledge about all kinds of stuff. I literally, ever since COVID, have been dedicated to finding more truths. And back to the Seattle story, because I kind of want to talk a little bit more about that. Man, when I was in Seattle, I learned some stuff that you wouldn't believe. And the video of what I was learning was up for like a couple years only. And then, oh man, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, please do sub, man. And anyways, I learned some truths in Seattle that would blow y'all mind. Like, a lot about 9/11, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Man, the lies and deception. I wish that we could revisit a lot of them facts that was in them videos that y'all took down, because there were some dedicated facts up in there, and really numbers don't lie. Numerology doesn't lie. When you start looking into our number pattern and how it correlates with our history, it starts telling a story. And with that being said, I wish that, because everything that really, really means something gets swept under the rug and forgot about. And, we just had 9/11 not long ago, and I had a very hard time, very, very hard time, people not making a video when 9/11 came around. And instead, I was pretty sad. And so I was just kind of, it just, what hurts me is that so many people hold on to the narrative that they want people to know. And the problem is that the narrative that they want people to know isn't filled with facts. There might be a little bit of the same story that correlates to the facts of the event that they include, but more times than not, they leave out the key factors. And that's why I'm here. I know people don't want to hear about that, because people want to be able to go through life and feel like they know something as far as what they have been told. And I knew everything that they told me was a bunch of lies. All right. That's the reality. That's the truth of the world that we're living in, is always do your own homework, man. Back to Tupac, because, man, he tried to let us know, man, that we need to peep game. You feel me? What's up, everyone, man? We need to peep game in this life, bro. Man, Tupac said it over and over again, and learn the politicians' double talk. Learn that this life is a stage. The whole Trump and the left and the right and this whole everything is a stage. That's like the stage. And then up here we got the elites that are looking over everything like, look at these fucking idiots, bro. Look at these idiots down here thinking that this staged show means anything. It means nothing, bro. Their staged show down here that we're dealing with is a bunch of lies and garbage and nonsense. What's really going on is above all that. That's when you start to find the truths, like life not fair. Life is totally not fair. Absolutely nothing fair about life. From the moment you are born, it's not like it totally determines your path, but it does if you let it, or if you keep getting kicked down, or if you just wake up and realize you don't care about money and you don't care about the structure that this world, which is, we are the only planet that still has a money system that's held above our head like freaking fake monopoly money is what I think of it as. Like, that's all they're printing money. You feel me? Like, how do we as a society let them print all this nothing and hold it above our head as if it's something? You feel me? Like, that blows my mind that we've been letting that go on for way too long now. You know, I mean, okay, like we started with gold and silver, you know, coins. And then, man, as soon as we printed the dollar, man, it was, I mean, the Illuminati started in 1776 and even maybe before, but that's when it officially started. And yeah, that is, what else started in 1776? I think I actually have it in my backpack, to be honest. That's what started in 1776. Our Constitution. That's kind of funny that they go hand in hand, right? Why would two things, opposing things, start at the same time? That's that politician's double talk or something, man. Tupac, man, he was trying to warn the world that we need to wake up before it's too late. And right now, it's way too late. It honestly is, but it cannot continue to keep me from speaking about the things that I know about and the things that, if more people knew, we could start to make a difference, a change, man. That change, man, I love that song, man. Oh man, that's the best, man. If y'all know what song I'm talking about, we talk about change, man. The positive change that's coming, man. Man, he knew so much, and he knows so much. He's still alive. That's why Tupac is still alive. Tupac already peeped the game. He already knew what was going to happen. That was a whole staged up event. Like, there was two Tupacs there that night. The night that he died, there was two Pacs, because he had two Pacs as a character, kind of like M and M. Kind of got the backwards M thing going on. Yeah, what's that about? Okay, that's because there was two. He literally has a clone, and then that's why he made the song "Real Slim Shady." You know, trust me, I grew up on Eminem. Literally grew up on Eminem since the time I was a little child. So, bro, we can have this argument, but I don't really want to go there. He said, "Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?" Man, and then that whole video thing going on. But bro, you got to dig deeper than all that. Sometimes there's a real meaning behind that. That's when the real Slim Shady introduced his clone into the picture, so he could do whatever he wanted to do and have that thing do some work for him. And it's actually shown in the music video Best Friend with Yellow Wolf. They're literally on stage together, and they just do it in a way to try to trick you. But man, if you really see the difference, you'll see when the real Slim Shady stands up in that music video. You'll see it. You'll feel it. You'll know it. If you really, really, really pay attention, because they kind of blended in. There's a blend point where it's like almost both of them, and then it switches to the real Slim Shady. So I just want to look at that. I've posted some markers on there for time and all that on that video. I don't know if it's probably been taken down by now, but it's just something to look into, because the night of Tupac supposedly dying, well, it wasn't the night he supposedly died, because if you remember right, he was in the hospital for days, right? That motherfucker didn't goddamn die. How do you get shot and you spend days in the hospital and then oh, you're dead? No, none of those were very life-threatening shots. At most, he had to have his lungs reconstructed a bit, because he really did get shot up in the lung, and that's why he changed his whole style of music. but he's still really good, man. Check out A Kill the MC, man. I promise. Man, I got a whole playlist on it. It's amazing, but yeah, I just continue to ramble on about different topics, and these damn flies need to leave me alone. Every time we open the door with the dog and want to go outside and everything, and then in comes a fly, and you're like, God damn it. And there's like two of them in here that are just, man, I had them all out, and then, yeah, you go in and out a few times, and bam, all of a sudden, here they are. But I'm just soaking up this. I got the ocean. Well, actually, I'm by the jetty, so there's a jetty right here, and then it wraps around, and the ocean's right up over that way. So, I'm just soaking up as much nature as I can. I'm honestly, I'm about to go disappear into the mountains for a while, and I'm sorry, but I think I got a little hair up my nose from my dog, probably, but her running around in here. But anyways, I think I'm about to go disappear off into the mountains for a little while because I'm just I can't really handle any more of this puppet show society, man. Just the whole system, man. It's just bunk. It's just garbage. I don't even want to work. I want to flip cars. I want to fix cars for people. I need a little bit of money to get a few vehicles for low. I find really good deals on cars, and then I find out what's wrong with them. I fix them up. I give them a tune-up, change any fluids, belts, all that shit. And at the end, sell a reliable vehicle. So that's what I like to do. And that's what I would do full time. That's what I want to do full time. I just need some money to get started again. I had that, and right now I don't. So, dreams that I want to make reality, because otherwise I'm just disappearing off into the mountains, and I'll still make some content. I'm going to make a lot more content as soon as I get away from this rat race, this poison of being in town and trying to chase money. And I'm about to go survive like an old survivor. I already got some equipment that I need for survival, so I ain't really worried about all that. And maybe I just want to also get into eating more organic. Go find things out there in nature that we're supposed to eat, and not saying that I'm like gonna turn into a vegetarian or something, but I mean, I'm just saying, that mainly I want to get out of this rat race, and I want to go back into nature, because that's where my property, I have almost 2.5 acres, is out in nature. I'd love to go there, but man, it's hard to survive out there. And with winter coming, I know it's going to get a lot of snow this year. It did last year. It got a lot of snow last year. And I'm not really set up for dealing with that right now. So I got to figure something else out. But I'm thinking about actually building a cabin in the woods, man, like you see on YouTube. I think I'm going to get some materials together and go ahead and go off into the mountains and build up a cabin. And, I'll still have my RV, but, I'm tired of living this way. I'm tired of constantly being on the move and constantly trying to figure out my finances and stuff, So I think for now, I just need to drop out of all of that and just go and enjoy nature. Build me up a little shelter, get a little fire going, and, could get an actual little fireplace in there and stuff. I mean, you can do a real cheap survival build and find most of the materials for free or next to it if you put your mind to it. And so that's what I'm getting ready to do, because I just can't handle any more of this fake society, man. I've put in hundreds of applications over the every job that I actually really want, like a job that I could see myself actually really thriving in and starting to love life again and stuff. Man, none of them will hire me, and I have experience in those fields. Lots of it at that, man. Years of experience in those fields, man. And they want to try to tell me no. For what, man? This world, man, has gone sick, bro. It's sick. And the things that the news tells you, man, it's a lot of it's fake. It's garbage. It's manufactured. It's, man, there are hundreds of people thousands of people, probably millions of people that have given up on this society and are doing exactly what I'm talking about. They're hiding in the forests and mountains. And, there's a reason for that. There's a reason so many people are starting to live off grid. And at that, your average person can't even afford a home anymore. So why do they even want to treat us like something different when it's out of our control? I don't see the government trying to step in and hand me a home and a job and everything, and that's okay because, that's not even what I need. That's what society wants us to think we need, but I'm not with it anymore, man. I'm tired of this game that I've been playing since I was 13 years old. I'm 32 now, bro. I'm tired of it, man. And I've been tired of it for a long time, actually. A long time. And so that's why as soon as COVID happened, I've pretty much been out of the game since then. I like I said, no longer care about money. I just want to survive. I want to be able to work on cars, sell them and fix them for people. And that's all I really want to do. And go out and enjoy nature. Enjoy nature above all, man. We were put here to enjoy nature, man. That's why it surrounds us. And then we built these stinking cities everywhere and freaking ruined the whole everything, man. We ruined what it meant to be a fucking human. We weren't made to freaking chase riches and society's just sick, bro. And it'll always be sick until enough of us has said enough is enough. And until then, they're going to keep running their game and their life's going to continue to be sick. We've got to stand up. We've got to stand up for our freedom. Does anybody even know what it means to be free anymore? To actually have a say in our life and what goes on. We don't even have a say in our own life anymore unless we demand it. And that's what I'm doing in my shitty situation. Is I'm demanding it in a different way, man. And if they try to lock me up for it, it'll be over my dead body. There'll be no more me. Because I don't need their system. I don't need their lies. I don't need their deception of what it is to be human. It's all false, man. And it'll always be false until we learn the truth and we start to demand answers and demand changes. And instead of doing so in a violent manner, like is what's happening in Portland, man, we can't keep fighting in the conventional way of fighting. What has it ever solved? That's why we just keep fighting. Fighting is great, but it should be a sport. And it should be for disagreements. When we disagree with somebody, well, fucking let's do it then. You feel me? Like, why do we have to, bro? Why does our whole existence have to be a fight? War. You know what I'm saying? Man, we don't need war. We don't need all the lies behind war. They say it's for this reason, when really it's for this reason. And we're not allowed to have this technology because they say it's for this reason, but really it's for this reason. And the reason it's really always for is to keep the elites. That's what they want. They want the rich to stay rich. And they want the poor to get so poor that they either kill or die over. And then when that doesn't work, they try to drug you. So, man, so many different drugs and people disappearing, man. Lots of homeless people disappearing, man. That shit's happening. Just straight, poof, gone. And I got an idea where they're taking them. I've already seen the facilities. So they wanted to call me crazy for the speaking about these facilities that they created, but I mean, they probably house a lot more disappearing people than we think. And that's part of the truce that we need. Man, we need to stop this corruption on this freaking planet, man. It's gotten way out of hand, man. Corruption, man, we need to expose it. Because unless we expose it, they're just going to keep doing it. Because a silent mouth don't get fed. That's one thing I learned in this life, man. A silent mouth don't get fed, man. If you hungry and you don't say you hungry, you probably ain't gonna get fed, you feel me? So for anything else to change, silence isn't the key, man. And I've been silent for too long. So the content I'm about to start making, if I disappear altogether, it's not because I wanted to stop making content. It's because I've been trying to think of how to do it strategically without disappearing. And I'm to the point, because of my living situation, that, I mean, that's why I got to worry about disappearing, because I don't have a normal home like all the 9-to-5ers and whatnot out there. Which, I mean, props and all for, I mean, doing what you think you need to do and everything. But man, thinking what we need to do is just going to keep the world in the same state. As soon as enough of us demand change and stand together on it in a peaceful way, that's when we'll start to see change. We got to do it as a collective, and we got to do it with peace, because otherwise it's not going to work. We got to figure out a way to have a peaceful gathering demanding change. That's what we got to figure out, because without that, we're just running in circles. We're just poking each other. We're just You know what I'm saying? We're just killing each other. We're just doing a bunch of nonsense, man. That's why we haven't seen the extraterrestrial life that they talk about not existing and whatever. And oh, now they've admitted it. Oh, they exist. Well, yeah, but we're not seeing them actually come say what's up because we're a fucking mess, bro. And we've been a mess for way too long before your parents, before your grandparents, way before even then. This world has went through a lot of evil shit, man, a lot. And man, there's a change is coming. That's all I know and care about. I don't care about this money system anymore. I don't. We shouldn't even have it held above our head. We should be able to live and exercise our creativity. That's all we have. That's what we're here for. We're here to be infinite creators, like the infinite creator. So that's what I got for now. And if you want to see more content, I'm going to be back. I'll probably even make another video today, but for now, I got to check out, y'all. Peace and love, y'all. Yeah, I ain't working at no Dollar General because they won't hire me, bro. I've already tried that. Alright. So, yes.